Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course, LinkedIn. My name is Frank Lavinia, and you can catch me at the following URLs. You can catch me at franksworld.com, datadriven.tv, and impactquantum.com. So, one of the things I've been saying since kind of the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine is the front is no longer just kind of on the other side of the planet. The front is as far away as your phone, as your computer, your IoT devices, anything that is connected to the wider internet. Which I think is an interesting point to bring out is that the internet does connect you to the world, but it also connects the world to you. Now, normally that's a good thing. I can learn about anything. I can watch live video feeds. I actually have an app here on my Linux laptop where I'm watching BBC News, Al Jazeera, TV broadcasts from Ukraine. I can use Radio Garden. I can do all of these things thanks to the internet. In the past, it really wasn't possible. I mean, yeah, I guess I could have used a shortwave radio, but that you didn't have real-time video on short-time radio. So the downside, however, is the fact that the world can get to you, and I really think that this is going to be kind of the dawn of a cyber war. And I know that sounds very clickbaity and very much hyperbole, but I have a number of news alerts tied to various companies. Microsoft's having spent nearly 10 years there. Obviously, that's on my list. So when you see a title like "Hackers Deal Big Blow to," it's not there. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. When you see a headline like that, hackers deal Microsoft a big blow, especially if you're own some shares in said company and you have a lot of history tied with said company, that kind of worries you. So apparently there's a hacking company, not hack company, but group. But apparently a single account had been compromised, granting limited access. It's no surprise that in today's day and age that a company like Microsoft is going to be attacked. In fact, I would argue that because of Microsoft's history of being such a large target, they have a pretty sophisticated cybersecurity operation. And they would run internal drills all the time. I got ensnared in one where I clicked on an urgent email while I was driving. I shouldn't have checked my email anyway, but I saw this urgent email from my boss. It was a phishing scam test, and they kind of you get this tisk 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 kind of response. So I learned two lessons. One, don't check your email while you're driving, and two, don't click on anything unless you can at least hover over it. And if something looks a little too fishy or wonky, probably is. But basically, they're describing it as a criminal actor. I saw another news article. I can't seem to find it now, but this breach, and combined with solar winds, is very alarming. And we don't know who breached them. I mean, the general public doesn't know, at least somewhere. I'm sure somebody has some idea or some origin of tracking it back. But that normally the thing that is mostly this has been here. Yes, this is the news story I was looking for. Are these the cybersecurity attacks that we were warned about? I mean, I don't know, but the fact that at least we're aware of these attacks, plus we don't know what we don't know. And I would say that this is a very real possibility that this is, if not the opening salvo of a cyber war, it's definitely going to be a sign of kind of things to come. And obviously, here's what it says. Obviously, look at the timing. You can be suspicious of it, but we don't see any direct links between these individual incidents from Okta to Microsoft and Russia. But he did, Rick Holland, Chief Information Security Officer at the security firm Digital Shadows, but it's evolving and things could change. There's definitely uh, two different kind of there's at least two different ways that you can look at kind of cyber attacks. You can kind of have the state-sponsored actors and the non-state sponsored actors. So state-sponsored actors are basically cared and fed for by nation states, and they have access to effectively unlimited resources. If you look at kind of the non-state sponsored cyber activity or bad actors, they can range from some kid in a basement to well organized crime rings. But I think this is interesting um, that we're starting to see this now. I think there's a real awareness, at least in some communities, that this Ukraine thing is going to spread, and cybersecurity is going to be very much top of mind. God, I hope that it certainly is. But there are definitely, I think, um, uh, there are definitely, not every attack is going to be a state-sponsored act. It's not every attack is going to be Russians, but now with this lens on what's going on in the world, then we really have to be concerned about that. Now, I myself am not a cybersecurity expert. I am married to one, but I would say that you know um, there's two ways to look at this. There's kind of the fear and the panic, but two, I think there's a real demand for people to skill up in this space. If you don't want to skill up in the space, that's fine, but be sure to tell your loved ones, particularly the ones that are not friends and loved ones, and anyone that would listen. I would tell them that if they are not um, um, try to educate them on what not to click on, right? Assume everything is a scam at some point. My mom would fall for some things because she's like, she called me. It's like, oh yeah, somebody called me, said I had a virus in the computer, and fortunately she hung up on them. Then she called me. Um, and there were but she was smart enough to avoid that one, but she was suckered into one where it says, click here, because your computer has a virus. I had to like basically reimage your computer, but the idea is that you have to make people aware of this sort of thing. And it's sad that we're seeing this kind of play out amongst the most vulnerable people, senior citizens, and things like that. But we have to educate them, because education is the way to help secure our internet and secure this, right? There's plenty of things you can do in terms of, skilling up and hardening your networks. But the weakest link every time, so I've been told, is the avenue of being hit by social engineering attacks, right? Phishing, that sort of thing. If you go, had a great interview on Data Driven. If you go to franksworld.tv, it's not showing now, but normally the channel video is an interview Andy and I did with cybersecurity expert Dana Mantilia, and she talks about how her firm even got attacked and almost succeeded, which is pretty crazy. That's happening. Videos, is it going to show? No. So that's interesting to know. So when you do a live stream, it shows up here on the screen. That's Did not know that. This is the when you go off script and you don't have that. But when you see a story like this, my heart goes out to them. But apparently, they claimed the source code for Bing and Cortana voice assistant. I didn't know Cortana was still around. I thought Cortana was discontinued. I know that the Harman Kardon's Cortana speaker, the Invoke speaker, has been no longer has Cortana, which is makes me sad, because I actually use that quite a bit, because I'd have Alexa and Cortana, and the allergy reports I'd get off Cortana were way better. Speaking of allergies, woof, what a week this has been here in the DC Metro. Um, let's see. So when you look at that, that's it's interesting. Um, what's going on. And if you're a cybersecurity expert and you would like to be in live stream and kind of talk about this, let me know in the comments below. Um, it's just interesting when you see this, and it's very easy for some people to pick on Microsoft, but I'm not picking on them. I know for a fact they have a pretty robust um, internal security organization. Um, so if they got breached, then they have resources that the average person, the average organization does not have, and they got hit. So first rule is that if you think you're not vulnerable, then you're even more vulnerable than you are. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think this may be the new normal. You know, um, okay, that's funny. Microsoft will now shame you for running Windows 11 on an unsupported computer. I don't know. That's some BGR. They tend to be very clickbaity, but um, it is what it is. Um, Personally, I've not upgraded to Windows 11. I have no intentions to do that anytime soon. Unfortunately, there are other videos where I kind of go into that, how I gave up Windows for Lent. Uh, but I am not totally. I mean, my personal laptop, yes, I am committed to keeping that Linux until at least Easter. But if the astute among you will notice that I'm actually watching this in these articles in the Edge browser, and still have love for Microsoft, even though I've now left. But and certainly as a shareholder, I am definitely in love with the company. But this is not to attack them. I'm just saying, like, it was Okta and Samsung, and I think Nvidia recently had a hack too. I'm not sure. Where was it? Yeah, I mean, this is very real. I mean, now I don't know what their um, I don't know what their or what their motives are, or what their origin is, but I mean, this is something that we can definitely, unfortunately, be ready for. In fact, even the current administration is saying that basically the president urged um, private sector to harden cyber defenses, and that is you know sobering words to hear. Um, And if you remember last summer, particularly here in the Northeast, the shutdown of the Colonial Pipeline, who knows what that was really about? I'm sure at some point maybe we'll know the truth, but the fact that we can, um, our food supply, our oil supply chains are all vulnerable to this should be a big wake up call for developers and engineers to take security seriously. Very often, so developers kind of think of security last, or as something they bolt on at the end. That is no longer a luxury we can afford. This is now a full-on front in just what some people call, next generation warfare. I've heard fifth generation warfare tossed around. Um, I don't know. And to my knowledge, there's no Geneva Convention in cyberspace. So this could get ugly very quickly. Um, so On more pleasant news, because of the rain here in the DC area, the allergies are a lot better today. That's my bit of positive spin there, and there are still some good deals on Humble Bundle, so go check those out. Not sure if you can hear that background noise, but Humble Bundle has some really good deals on Python. I think the Python deal is still going on. Let's see, Humble. Let's see what we got. Yeah, the Python deal is another 4 days. Really good books in there. There's a number of books on getting certified. I might actually pick that up because the more I get into kind of what we're doing here at Red Hat with Kubernetes and how we do that, I definitely feel like the whole infrastructure and kind of operating system side of things is definitely something that I need. I feel like I need to shore up. Um, like I know enough to be dangerous. When I built my home network, I know enough to be dangerous, and I often wonder, like, what's going to happen with this cyber war, or just is it going to not just target corporations but individuals as well? I sadly suspect the answer to that is yes. And I got a comment. Yes, this is from the Expanse, the Martian Congressional Republic Navy. That's what the hat is. Mostly because I have hat head. I'm not trying to make a statement about Mars, but But if Elon can get us there soon, I mean, I'm down. Um, but there's definitely some interesting things here. So pen testing, I may actually pick this up. It's what is it? $18 for 21 books. Yeah, it's a good deal. I have some time to think about that though. A lot of other manga and comics and stuff like that. This is something that is kind of my guilty pleasure, racing games. Um, I don't know. Well, I'll definitely bookmark it. I have some time on that. I would love to get. I used to have a steering wheel for the Xbox, the 360. I would love to get that for this. There's a game that I've actually played. I think I've played on recently, but it's called Dirt, and it's basically you drive a rally car. And supposedly there's a place outside Seattle which is in the game, and you can actually like learn, take lessons and stuff like that. So next time I'm out there, obviously I don't work for Microsoft anymore, so my trips to Red, well, it wouldn't matter, right? The last 2 years, nobody's been going anywhere, but one of these days I'm going to go back out there, maybe do that. Or if anyone knows something closer to DC, kind of Maryland, there's got to be something. That would be cool to learn how to do. All right. Well, that's all I got. Just want to say thanks for watching and be careful out there. It's dangerous. If you want to find out more about what I'm doing, you can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Frank Diggs Data. And you have a fantastic day. Thanks for tuning in. You know what? I'm going to throw up a fancy graphic.